ready for the bombshell that could blow up the Bears' winning streak. First off, our star wideout is boiling over. How much longer before he explodes? Second, the secondary is bleeding out. 3 starting corners are out before facing Lamar Jackson. Who the hell is gonna stop that monster? Third, the offensive line is falling apart. Key injuries are leaving Caleb Williams exposed. If they don't act now, this whole thing could collapse. Think we'll survive Baltimore? Hit that subscribe button or miss the raw truth. Smash that like if you don't want to see this train go off the rails. Look, I'm gonna get straight to it because this has my head spinning. DJ Moore came out this week and had to defend his attitude on the field. Can you believe that? Our number 1 receiver, the guy who was supposed to be Caleb Williams' go-to, had to publicly say, "I'm not a diva." Let me ask you something. When was the last time you saw a Bears player have to do that? Remember Brandon Marshall? Alshon Jeffrey? Those dudes never had to defend themselves like this. And you know why Moore's in this spot. Because after 6 games, he's got just 22 catches to 158 yards. And 1 touchdown. Let me put that in perspective for you. DJ Moore has gone over 1,000 yards in 4 of the last 7 seasons. This guy is elite, and now he's second on the team in every category. Know who's first? Rome Odunze, the rookie we drafted 9th overall. I think there's something deeper going on here. Moore said, and I quote, "I hope everybody here knows I'm not a diva. Some fans might think I'm a diva, but it is what it is. I just go out and play as hard as I can every time. Did you catch that? It is what it is. That's not a happy dude. That's a guy who's resigned. And I'm telling you right now, when a player of his caliber has to come out and defend his body language, there's a serious communication issue in that offense. Now, some of y'all are gonna say, but Miguel, we're winning. We've got 4 straight wins, and you're right, we're 4-2. Our best stretch in 7 years. But I ask you, at what cost? Are we really gonna waste the talent of a receiver who's got a cap hit of $28.5 million for each of the next 3 seasons? Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Ben Johnson came over from Detroit with a system loaded with options. We've got Odunze. We've got Cole Kmet. We drafted Colston Loveland in the 1st round. Brought in Luther Bird in 3 in the 2nd. This offense is stacked with weapons. And when you've got that many mouths to feed, somebody's gonna go hungry. But here's my issue. DJ Moore ain't just somebody. This is a guy who drew double coverage in Carolina, who was the safety valve on every 3rd down. And now we've got him running routes like he's the 3rd or 4th option. I'm telling you, Caleb Williams is 23. He's a brilliant rookie, but he's still a rookie. And rookies build chemistry with the guys they're most comfortable with. Right now, that's clearly Odunze. But you know what? That can't be an excuse to underuse your most experienced weapon. And you know what really ticks me off? Some fans are talking about trading Moore. Are you out of your minds? Trade a 28-year-old receiver in his prime for what? A 4th-round pick. With that contract, nobody's taking on those $28.5 million. And even if they would, why the hell would you give up your best weapon when you're trying to develop a rookie quarterback? Look, I get Moore's frustration. When you're an elite competitor and the ball's not coming your way, you get frustrated. That doesn't make you a diva, it makes you a winner. The problem isn't Moore. The problem is we need to figure out how to use our offensive weapons effectively. Ben Johnson's got a huge challenge on his hands. He's got to balance Caleb's development with keeping his vets happy. And believe me, a happy DJ Moore is a dangerous DJ Moore. We've seen what he can do when he's involved. We need to get back to that. So what do you think? Is Moore right to be frustrated, or should he just accept a smaller role while the team's winning? If that didn't shock you, wait till you hear this, because what's coming is an absolute nightmare for our defense. The Bears are going into Sunday's game against the Baltimore Ravens without their 3 starting cornerbacks. Let me say that again, without our 3 starting corners. Tyrique Stevenson is out with a shoulder injury. Kyler Gordon is out with groin and calf issues. And Jalen Johnson is still on IR recovering from core muscle surgery he had back in September. And guess who we're playing? Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP quarterback who's fully healthy and ready to tear defenses apart. I mean, are you kidding me? Let me break down how bad this is. Jalen Johnson is our Pro Bowl corner, the guy who can lock down the other team's top receiver. Tyrique Stevenson, when healthy, is a physical corner who can play press coverage. And Kyler Gordon, the guy we gave a 3-year, $40 million extension in April, has been so injury-prone I don't even know if that deal was a good idea. Gordon missed 3 of the first 4 games with a hamstring injury. Now he's out again with groin and calf problems. I'm telling you, when you pay a guy $40 million and he can't stay on the field, that's a huge problem. But here's what really scares me. Dennis Allen has to come up with a defensive game plan to stop Lamar Jackson without his top 3 corners. How the hell do you do that? Jackson isn't just a dynamic runner, he's an elite passer. He's got a cannon, he can make every throw, and when coverage breaks down, he just takes off and kills you with his legs. And don't forget Troquan Smith is on the other side. Our former linebacker, the guy who knows this defense better than anyone, is gonna be hunting Caleb Williams all day. Roquan's healthy, he's fired up, and believe me, he wants to destroy the Bears now. Some of you might say, but Miguel, the Ravens are 1-5. Yeah, but you know why? Because Lamar Jackson's been out since the second half of week 4. This isn't some weak version of the Ravens. This is a hungry team with their star back, I think. This is the biggest test our defense has faced all season. We've led the league with 16 interceptions. We've been aggressive. We've forced turnovers. But that was with a relatively healthy secondary. Now we're gonna find out what this defense is really made of when their backs are against the wall. And here's my biggest concern. If we can't contain Lamar Jackson, if he lights us up, what message does that send to the rest of the league? It tells every offensive coordinator out there that if you attack our secondary, you can win. And believe me, they'll all be watching this game. Ben Johnson said both Stevenson and Kmet will avoid IR, meaning they're day-to-day, week-to-week. But that doesn't help us this Sunday. This Sunday, we need our depth guys to step up and play the best football of their lives. And you know what? Maybe they will. Maybe someone comes out of nowhere and has a breakout game. But I'm not betting on it. I'm being real, we're in serious defensive trouble this weekend. So what do you think? Can our defense hold up against Lamar Jackson without our top 3 corners? Or are we in for a beatdown? Third story, Danders Swift questionable and key offensive line injuries. No, here's where it gets really wild, because if you thought our problem stopped on defense, you're dead wrong. Danders Swift is questionable for Sunday's game with a groin injury. The Bears' starting running back didn't practice Wednesday, was limited Thursday and Friday, and his status won't be decided until right before kickoff. Now, DJ Moore was also on the injury report with a groin issue, but he was a full participant Friday and has nitrogen monoxide injury designation, so at least there's some good news there. But here's the problem. The Bears will be without 5 confirmed players on Sunday. Besides Stevenson and Gordon in the secondary, we're also missing left tackle Braxton Jones with a knee injury, running back Roshan Johnson with a back issue, and Cole Kmet with a back injury. Let me explain why this is devastating. Braxton Jones is our starting left tackle, the guy who protects Caleb Williams' blind side. Without him, we're throwing a backup out there against the Baltimore front that is nasty. And believe me, they're gonna target that side all night. Cole Kmet is missing the first game of his career. This guy's been a workhorse for us, a reliable target over the middle, a solid blocker. Losing him means rookie Colston Loveland has to step up in a big way, and if Swift can't go, who's running the ball? Travis Homer, Darrington Evans. These are depth guys who don't have anywhere near Swift's explosiveness. And against the Baltimore defense that's gonna stack the box and force Caleb to throw, we desperately need Swift out there. I'm telling you, this game is quickly turning into a full-on depth test for our entire organization. We're not just gonna see if our starters can hang, we're gonna find out if our backups can keep the level up when the starters are down. And here's what really worries me. We're on a 4-game win streak. The team's confident, momentum's on our side. But if we go into Baltimore and get smacked because we're too banged up, what does that do to our confidence? What does that do to our momentum? Ben Johnson's gonna have to get creative this Sunday. He's gotta find ways to protect Caleb without his starting left tackle. He's gotta find ways to move the ball without his most dynamic back. And he's gotta do it all against the Baltimore defense that's desperate for a win. I think this is the kind of game that defines a season. Either we walk out of Baltimore with a gutsy win that proves this team's got real heart, or we walk out with a loss that exposes every crack we've been hiding. And let me be clear, I'm not saying we can't win. The Bears have been surprising people all year, but we're gonna need everyone to step up. Caleb's gotta play the best game of his young career. Our defense has to force turnovers, and our depth guys have to play like starters. So what do you think? Can the Bears overcome all these injuries and pull off a win in Baltimore? Or is that just too much to ask? Just too much to ask. Look, these 3 stories show you exactly where the Bears are right now. We've got DJ Moore trying to find his place in a loaded offense. We've got a secondary that's completely wrecked before facing one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the league. And we've got injuries in key spots that are gonna test our depth like never before. But you know what? This is Chicago. This is a city that doesn't quit. This is a city that's seen teams overcome way worse. And I believe these Bears have something special. So here's what I need from you. If you think DJ Moore deserves more touches, and Ben Johnson needs to get him more involved, hit that LIKE button right now. If you're worried about our secondary against Lamar Jackson, drop a comment with your game prediction. And if you believe these Bears can fight through all these injuries and keep winning, subscribe to this channel because we're covering every move this team makes. Because this isn't just a YouTube channel, this is a family. We're the voice of Bears fans everywhere. And when this team wins or loses, we do it together. So join this community. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Because I guarantee you after Sunday's game, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Bear down. Chicago. See you in the next video.